penetration. You didn't like that? Oh, what about this? Penetration.
It was that kind of day, so I felt like we needed to start with a penetration. I know we're starting early according to the schedule, but god damn it, we are starting late according to my fucking life. God damn it. If it isn't one thing, it's your mother. But here we are. Internet issues aside, everything seems to be fucking working. Now, operator Tony come in here at 9:03 and said, first. Yeah, I know I didn't have a link up earlier. Shit, I don't even have fucking Discord open. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing tonight. It is National Donut Day, as the title says. Unfortunately, no, I was not able to get a police officer to come on for the show for tonight. I tried. I may have tried a little late, but you know what? We're doing it anyways. Let's see what we got here. Is somebody maybe? No, just us, just me. Yeah, I attempted. I don't care. You didn't need to be a famous police officer, nothing like that. I've reached out to a couple local officers that I know who aren't afraid to speak their mind. Nobody got back to me. So either people are afraid to speak their fucking mind right now, or it is what it is. Now, you're gonna notice I need to change some settings. This is ridiculous. Let's do this real quick. Let's get rid of that because, yeah, there we go. We don't need to see the background. I don't know. We can let some other motherfuckers join the chat, but we're gonna let it go. We're gonna wait until we get past 7 minutes before we start into the real content tonight because there is a whole lot of shit that went down this week that we need to talk about. So fluff is what we're going to talk about first. We're going to probably burn up just about 5 or 6 minutes here talking about what was obviously the most important trial in United States and world probably history, the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. Absolutely insane, completely ridiculous. I can't believe it was televised. I really can't believe it went on for 6 weeks. And to be completely honest, I am absolutely amazed that a defamation case actually ended in affirmative. You were defamed. There was actual malice, and here's $15 million for you. Unfortunately for Johnny, you can't squeeze blood from a turnip. So maybe she'll pledge the money to him. He'll get it eventually in about 150 to 300 years. She's not going to have any fucking acting jobs anytime soon. She's been completely wrote off of Aquaman 2. Not that she should have been in it anyways. I don't believe her acting capabilities actually lived up to her being in Aquaman 1, which I never even saw. But from the clips that I've seen, thank fucking goodness I've never seen it. Look at the glitch, and that's fucking amazing, guys. Woo! Look at that. All right. I'm not supposed to talk about that, apparently. Don't know exactly what was going on there, but hey, everybody who's here now knows it. Anybody who may be jumping into the show on replay may not know it, but down here, the little ticker tape, tacticalpineapple.com/express, you will be able to get our Express holsters. They are one of a kind. They're unique. They use Safariland hardware to mount pretty much anywhere. You can put them under the desk, like maybe right here. You can put them over a doorway and position a pistol in a manner which, as you're walking out of a door, you could grab it if necessary. You could mount that behind a nightstand. You could mount it behind a dresser, behind a headboard. You can really mount them pretty much anywhere. You got a flat surface that's about 2 inches by 4 inches. And yeah, do with that what you will. Tacticalpineapple.com/express, $89.95 is the starting price. There are options that'll take it up a little bit higher just because materials cost more. Now, that being said, on the website, I say that they will deliver. We will ship within 5 days. Some bad news. We are currently shipping within 2 days. So, it's bad news for most of the competitors for custom made to order holsters because the best they can do is about 3 weeks. Now, my supplier has enough materials on hand to actually get it done. Now, business days are real days. So, obviously, there is no shipping on Sunday. However, if you order, let's just say the last order that went out, the order came in at 2:30 in the morning on a Monday, and by 2:30 in the afternoon, it shipped. No fishy, not 5 Tuesdays. That would have been my old supplier, maybe. Unfortunately, he's the old supplier is the reason that things got kind of jumbled up. But y'all know about that, and we won't talk any further about him or his product because even though he did good stuff, he only did it when he wanted to. So didn't work out for me for somebody who was getting orders to him. So that being said, we are officially 7 minutes and 24 seconds into the stream, so YouTube has stopped watching. So let's talk about Uvalde. Yeah, I know. Tag word, trigger word, whatever. I went into it last week, kind of talked about the issues. More information has come out since then, and this is actually part of the conversation that I wanted to have with a police officer here, actually somebody who could represent the department, and maybe we'll still have the conversation in the near future. I just need to find somebody who's willing to do it. The reality is that there were a lot of failures on all ends. Only when she wanted to. I have an ex like that. Yes, we'll pull that up. Hilarious. It was a he, though, and he did act like a bitch, so we'll leave it at that. Yeah, so lots of failures at Uvalde. I'm pretty sure everybody here knows about them. I do want to break down something that very few people are actually talking about. I've seen it a few times. I don't necessarily believe all of the hype. There's a lot of people talking about the actual cost of what the kid had. Now, I know what guns cost. You know what guns cost. We know what ammo costs. So, as a bunch of individuals who know what things cost, let's really take a look at this. So, the young cocksucker who did what he did had himself a Daniel Defense AR-15, aka M4. Believe it was actually an M4, from Daniel Defense, approximately $2,200 to $2,500. It's a lot of money. It's a pretty hefty piece of hardware, not including what accessories he may have had on it. Now, I don't know what accessories he had on it, but a general loadout, you can add another $1,500 to $2,000 to it. I'd probably be looking at a $4,000 rifle. Let's not even talk about the accessories. We'll just leave it at $2,200. Maybe say $2,500 because it is Texas. It is a shit time of the year. Operator Tony says, I have an email to send you. One part in it proves political people have no idea what you go through to buy a gun. Yeah, pretty much. Doesn't surprise me at all. But we'll continue. He also had another AR. There's been a couple different manufacturers thrown out there. I'm not going to throw the manufacturer out there because I don't know for sure. From what I understand, it was about a $1,700 rifle. Let's say it's Texas, $1,200. So now we're looking at approximately $3,400 worth of firearms, right? Not including the pistol that he had on his side. Most firearms, sidearms that you can get, you're probably looking at, $300 to $500 for something used, probably $500 to $700 new. Let's assume if he had a $2,500 AR, he probably had a new pistol too. So we're probably looking at an $800 pistol. But we'll say $500 just to fucking stomp on toes. And then now you've officially put him in the realm of $4,000 just in firearms purchased within the last couple weeks. He also had 1,600 rounds of ammunition. Now, I don't know if that was 1,600 rounds of 223 ammo, which would have gone in the M4, 223, 5.56, depending on what he had things chambered in. I'm assuming probably 223. If he did have a wild, probably still running 223. It's more readily available than 5.56 just because of availability and whatever. So let's just go with that, and then we'll leave the obligatory 9mm, most likely what he had, and just write that off, the ammo for that. So 1,600 rounds, 43 cents a round, let's say. Looking at approximately $800 worth of ammo, a little bit more than that. I know my maths are wrong, but it's okay. Maths are allowed to be wrong now because according to certain individuals and certain people in Congress, maths are racist. So there's still that. Totally other story. But continue on down the line, right? So $800 in ammo, $4,000 worth of guns. He's looking at $4,800. And then he also had a magazine for every single fucking round. There was no loose ammunition rolling around in any bags. So 1,600 rounds times at the minimum cost, say $10 at some Texas gun stores. If he's buying them online, probably $12 to $18, but we'll just say $10 to round it out. That comes to be about 83 mags. So there's another $830. Now we're talking well over $5,000, probably into the $5,500 range, maybe even close to $5,700 worth of ammunition and firearms. Now, he also obviously had a holster for his pistol. We can add $100 for that if it's halfway decent. $20 for an Uncle Mike's, but we'll just write it off. We'll say he was just carrying it in his fucking pocket. But he also had a plate carrier with no plates, so let's just say we'll add another $75, probably something from fucking wish.com. Don't know what he had. Could have been something $500, could have been something $75, but we'll just say for the sake of fucking numbers, $100. So we're getting pretty close to the $6,000 range. Now, the average median income in Uvalde, Texas, for a household is $41,563, according to the 2020 census. For an individual, it is $18,500 and something. I don't remember exactly. I do remember it was like $18,500 for a single individual median income in the Uvalde, Texas area. Now, why does that matter? It matters because this fucking asshat was 18 years old, a high school dropout, didn't have a fucking job, and he lived with his grandparents. What did his grandparents do? Well, grandpa's retired. Okay. What does grandma do? Well, she's retired too, but she works part-time at a coffee shop. Well, what did she do prior to retiring? She was an employee of the Robb Elementary School. Huh. Okay. What did grandpa do before he retired? Well, he ran his own business. I don't know exactly. I've heard conflicting reports whether he ran his own business or whatnot. Regardless, not making tons of income, and the family itself wasn't exactly living on the fucking high on the hog. So if, and this is a big if this family made a household median income of $41,000, tell me how this kid managed to spend 1/7 of their annual income and nobody asked a fucking question. Nobody asked a goddamn question. I don't understand. I don't understand where this money came from. Now, we also have the police department, which is obviously, at this point, I think we all know and agree, are somewhat complicit in the deaths of these children. Whether you are one of the officers who listened to your commanding officer and took his order of not going into the school, or you're one of the fucking asshats who listened to your commanding officer and didn't go into the fucking school. It's absolutely insane. So there's conflicting reports again, yet information still will come out. Whether it was 75 minutes or if it was 40 minutes that the cops were sitting out there. The reality is it doesn't fucking matter, right? I don't care if you didn't have a plan or if you didn't have your radio or whatever. Bukaki says the Discord channel safe for stream in the political side. I gotta open Discord. I still haven't done that. So there goes the glitching again. The reality of the situation is that not only didn't go in, but stopped parents from going in. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. So they attempted to prevent parents from going into the school to do their job as a parent and protect their child, which is even worse. But let's see what we got. Politics. All right, we'll open that and then move it over here. Bear with me 1 second. Here we go. Share screen. There we go. So, shared on the Discord in the political sense. So maybe if we wait out here long enough, he will use all of his ammo on the kids. Yeah, pretty much. It's one of those situations where, yeah, definitely. Like this guy had all fucking day in there. He could do pretty much anything he wanted. Tony, I can't just check your link here. I don't use that. So open this in new tab, screenshot. All right, there. Let's see. So I'll talk about that in a second. So, yeah. So they're arresting parents and putting them in handcuffs and tasing them according to some things. I don't know if the tasing happened. I know that it's out there. It's something that was talked about. The reality of the situation, though, comes down to the people who, the officers who get this mentality in their head that no matter what, I'm going home tonight. And I don't feel like it's fair entirely to talk about that mentality without an officer here. And that's part of why I wanted to have a cop come in today. But at the same time, we're here. We're going to talk about it. We all know that we live in a society now where police are really shunned and talked down upon. It's disgusting, but they really were like not doing their fucking job. I know they have no duty to protect and no duty to serve. The protect and serve motto came out of a magazine in the 1960s, right? They're literally they're employees of the city or the sheriff themselves. Now, a sheriff is actually an elected official, which gets into a different realm of things. But the officers who work for him are appointed. They're brought in, they're hired, they're paid to do a job. So the sheriff itself is elected, which means of the people and by the people. But the police departments in local municipalities, similar to Uvalde, Texas, these individuals actually work for the city leadership, whether it's city council or it's the mayor or this or that. The police chief is appointed. It is an appointed position. And there's a lot of people who are like, well, if they don't like what he's doing, they'll just vote him out. Well, that's not how it works. It's really not how it works. So Mrs. Pineapple says too here, there is kids that were covering themselves with their friend's blood and playing dead. Yes, what the fuck, poor kids. It is. It's disgusting. And you know what though? To those kids and the parents of those children who showed them, hey, do whatever you can, and this may happen, and this blah blah blah. Good for them at least to have some training, but man, those kids are fucked up. So those kids are gonna be fucked up, and the mental health effects of these school shootings continues to go on. All right, Bukaki goes back into the duty and says, "You have a duty as a human being to protect children." That is 100% truth. Yeah, so to be fair, the off-duty border patrol agent didn't have that duty, but as a decent human, he did. Exactly, and you know what? So there's also conflicting reports there too. Now, the off-duty border patrol agent who did go into the building with the shotgun from the barber, good for him. He went in completely selfishly motivated, and he's admitted as much, from what I understand. He's also admitted that he's not the person who took out the school shooter. It was one of his team members. Now, he left the barber shop with that shotgun, knowing no matter what, as soon as I get there, I'm going in. On the way to that school, he called his border patrol team and said, "Hey, this shit's going down. Meet me here." And that team is the team that went in, cleared the building, and killed that motherfucker. So the reality of the situation is the Border Patrol in Uvalde, Texas, did more to serve their community than the police department did. And they did it without a plan. There's a lot of people who are like, well, they just didn't have a plan. They didn't know what to do. Well, this is a situation that the students fucking train for. I believe it should be a situation that the police fucking train for. It's absolutely insane to think that we live in a society where people hate police enough that police have taken it upon themselves to not fucking care about children. We are going down the shitter. Now, I was asked today by an individual, so when do you think we lost America? And I was like, wow, that's a bold question, especially while I'm at work. But it was just me and him. Everybody else had gone to lunch, and I don't go to lunch because I eat my lunch at 10 o'clock in the morning because I'm there at 5. But regardless, he asked me that question, and it made me think. Had to really answer it too. Answer it honestly. The whole deal comes down to, I'm guessing we lost it sometime around the point where men stopped smoking Marlboro Reds and started vaping strawberry shortcake. Just saying, take it for what you will. Do we have awake children? Maybe, maybe not. But hey, Mom Pineapple, Mrs. Pineapple is home tonight, so if we do have awake children, we can continue to talk shit, at least for a little while. Crazy Eyes says, the plan? Take this motherfucker out. Yeah, I definitely think we got kids, if you can hear that. No? No kids awake? What are you doing up there? Operator Tony says, I'd say more like when NFA became a thing. I don't think so. I think we gave it up a long time before that, but not necessarily gave it up, right? So there was still an opportunity to bring it back. I don't think we really lost the country until the BO era. The Barack Hussein Obama. The fuck are you doing up there, Ma? All right, but the reality of the situation, it's something outside. Okay, perfect. At least it's not in my house. Do you need to shoot something? Like, seriously, it sounds like you need to shoot something. No, it wasn't. It's not pitter patter. It's something that's like screaming like a fucking child crying. But it. Seriously, what the fuck? Yeah, we may have to go check this out. This is not, I don't know what the fuck that is. And if you guys can't hear it, I apologize. It's a Wendigo. It's a Wendigo. I don't know, man. If y'all can hear it, you can tell me what you think it is, but we're going to go check something out. I will be We're back. I don't know what it was. I didn't see anything. There was nothing out there, and it's not making any more noise anymore. So we're back. Yeah, howdly doodly. I just commented on it. He never returns. Yeah, no. Let's see. It's back. What the fuck is that? Whatever. Keep the doors locked, Ma. You know where the guns are. Yes, at Mrs. Pineapple, but you're a better shot, so why not you? I don't know, man. It's like fucking crazy. Can you guys hear that? If you can, you gotta let me know. I'm gonna go give her a fucking microphone upstairs. But it's louder down here than it is upstairs, which I don't understand. So, whatever. Yes, it is back. It is. It's like a turkey call, but it's not a healthy turkey call. 2 blasts in the air. No, I actually want my kids to sleep. Also, the neighbors may not appreciate that. They're just having a bonfire across the road. So, opposite side of the house, though. So, I know what side of the house it is. It's in the backyard, which is typically where the hawks land and take shit. So, could be a turkey running through the backyard, got himself in some trouble. Could just be something really fucking weird. So, lay down suppressive fire. Yeah, we're good. Whatever it is, it's not coming in the house. It's outside. And as of right now, there's nobody outside. It's distracting as fuck, though. Oh my god. So we'll move on. We'll move on from the Uvalde shit, just because it is absolute shit. The cops. I know you keep saying Wendigo. It is a Wendigo. This isn't Florida, and people don't eat bath salts here. It's probably a Wendigo or a dying turkey. Could be a cat, completely in distress too. We don't know. I don't fucking know. As soon as I came outside, though, everything went quiet. There was nothing. So I'll just leave it at that for now, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, it doesn't wake up one of the kids, because that's fucking crazy. Yeah, so we'll move on, and we'll bring up what Operator Tony has to share us here on screen, and blow it up here. Hopefully y'all can see this. So the House has already passed a bill that would require a background check for every gun purchase, something almost 90% of Americans support. It's time for the Senate to pass this important legislation and send it to the president's desk. There is no one law that will solve the mass shooting epidemic in this country, but we can save lives if we take action. It is time for us to make a change. Did I go outside with my pants off? No, I have shorts on. I have shorts on. We'll leave it at that. They're not just boxers either. I actually have shorts on. So the House has already passed a bill that would require a background check for every gun purchase. Now, I understand that some of this is that they're saying that they don't know what we already go through to purchase a firearm. The reality of that, though, is that this bill that they actually did pass. Are we buffering now? Perfect. Let's see. Excellent condition must be on your side, Tony. Figure it out, buddy. So the fact that they passed the bill is scary enough. So the fact is that bill that they're talking about, though, refers to even in-person purchases. So private sales, something that currently is not actually legislated anywhere to be a background checked sale. That means that you are now going to have to transfer all of your firearms through an FFL on sale if they get that through. We're not buffering. Tony's having a brain aneurysm. He's like, oh my god, he's talking about what he's talking. Yeah. And Crazy Eye says, if only Timothy McVeigh passed a 4473 for that goddamn Ryder truck. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of situations where a background check doesn't do a fucking thing. And the reality is we live in a world, unfortunately, where people kill people. Um, guns don't kill people, people kill people. We've long time said it. And there's literally people who are out there saying, people don't kill people, guns do. And I'm like, you're a stupid idiot. Shut up. And that's not entirely wrong. Guns do kill people. Guns are tools that are used to levy an action and ultimately amplify an individual's force that they want to put onto somebody. So whether it's for good or for evil, it's the same thing. It is a force multiplier. It is a tool. It makes a person who's maybe not so deadly more deadly. Like an individual who's got toothpicks for arms and complains about people being weak, and that's why they need guns. Interestingly enough, he is the exact fucking reason people should have guns, right? Like people who are insane, who are crazy, who are just lunatics, they may look weak, but honestly, once they get to doing something, you don't know what they're capable of. And that individual is crazy as shit for coming at some of the people that he's going to go after, right? But that craziness is actually a force multiplier as well. An individual who is insane is capable of doing some really crazy shit. But Crazy Eyes throws it out there and says, what that's saying, though, is the illusion of safety. No, actually, what it's saying, I'll bring it back up here. There is no one law that will solve the mass shooting epidemic in this country, but we can save lives if we take action. It is time for us to make a change. What that last portion of that statement is the proof that they're not delusional about any of this. They know none of these laws are going to change a fucking thing. What they're doing is they're making a change. They're doing something to feel better about themselves. It's a self-gratification thing. It's all an action that's just going to make them feel better that they've done something, damn it, to help save our children. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get through to all these crazy fucking lunatic Republicans who talk about the Constitution, and we can make them stop saying naughty words we don't like. It's not going to happen. The reality is I don't think anything's going to pass. I hope to God nothing passes. And the reality is it's not the answer. It isn't. Like, we know that. Gun laws only affect law-abiding citizens. Legally responsible gun owners follow the law, right? It's ridiculous to say anything else. Legally armed American citizens follow the law. These rules and laws that people are putting in place are affecting nobody but legally armed American citizens. And that's it. It's as simple as that. It's not going to change a goddamn thing about the criminals, and they know that. And we'll argue. People argue back and forth about, well, Pennsylvania, or, that whole shit is they got a bigger murder rate, and it's a Democratic-run city, and blah blah blah. And I get it. They argue back that the Republican legislature that's been Republican forever doesn't allow them to do a damn thing, and well, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's true. But the fucking fact of the matter is that poverty creates violence. Violence is not something that's created out of equality, right? So if we want to stop all of this violence, we have to do two things. We have to help individuals become better in life, achieve more. I'm not saying we need to hand out. I'm saying we need to hand up, right? We need to offer our hand to help them up and say, okay, this has been wrong. Like, we have a society that's trained individuals. Our school system has made it impossible for certain people to excel. Right. This is where we get individuals that are currently in the state houses that are honestly saying, yes, did you say you need the final solution to the pores? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much is what it is. We have people in Congress right now who are honestly saying that math is racist. Why is it why is math racist? It's racist because it's not taught on equal levels between schools. We also have a school system that focuses on teaching people how to solve Pythagorean's theorem instead of balancing a checkbook, instead of keeping a budget. Honestly, there are classes in the high school system. We had one in ours. It was called basic math, right? That basic math class taught you all those things: how to fill out a checkbook, how to balance a budget, how to do all those different things, how to calculate how much you're going to pay on an interest rate loan over time. Literally taught you that. But in order to get in that class, you had to fail algebra twice. So you had to not be good enough at math for science to learn math for life. That's a problem. That needs to change. Who gives a shit about algebra? You know, the last time I used Pythagorean's theorem? Fucking hardly ever. It's probably literally was when I was in college and literally was told you can't use a calculator for this. So I had to figure this X out and blah, blah, blah. Right? Otherwise, I've got fucking calculators and different things that I use as an engineer to solve for X, right? Because the alphabet doesn't belong in math. So, and I say that as an engineer, right? I'm a guy who literally lives on formulas. Like, you fill in this, you fill in that, you fill in that, and then you get something out of the other end. As long as you put good data in, you get good data out. You put shit data in, you can get shit data out. That's the fucking reality of it. So, math isn't racist. The way our school system is set up might be. And that really is. Bernie B. Sanchez says, yes, if you make $500 a week, you can spend $1,000 because your better half likes shoes. Mm-hmm. Makes sense to me. I mean, you're just going to get a check from the government, right? That's the other part of it, is dependency. If we continue to allow individuals to perform poorly, and then we give them incentives to continue performing poorly, what do you get? You get 45-year-old men and women who work as fry cooks at McDonald's. There's no reason for that. I'm not saying McDonald's is a bad job. I worked at McDonald's as a kid. It's a great place that you can develop skills to get you a job for life. It is not necessarily a job for life. Yes, in America, you cannot have a job, yet you can also drive a BMW, Mercedes, or etc. That's welcome to America, right? So that's one of the issues, right? We have to solve that poverty issue, because when you live in squalor and you don't have much, you always reach for the Joneses, right? You don't see the error in your own ways or the ways to get up, right? There are plenty of families that get out of the ghetto, that get out of the hood, that get out of squalor. You know, it happens every day. It's just certain families act better, right? They do the right thing. Parents push their children to be better than they were. That's how you get out. Generational wealth isn't just a thing for the wealthy. It's a thing for everybody. You can actually teach your children how to save money based on your own experiences. It's an amazing thing. You would never believe that once you, as a person who's now an adult, figure out how to save money, you can teach your fucking children to do the same. And if you teach them how to do it early enough, and you explain to them all the mistakes you made along the way, and you show them all the mistakes you made along the way, they're going to make mistakes. They're going to fuck shit up. They're going to spend money they don't need to spend. But they're going to get it faster. So where it took you till you were 35, maybe 40, to get better, to have a life that was more comfortable, where you weren't living paycheck to paycheck. And 90% of this country still lives paycheck to paycheck. And that's saying something, because 90% of this country means way more than the bottom 10%. That means fucking people who are making six-figure incomes are living paycheck to paycheck because they're spending money they don't have. Credit is the biggest enemy of this country. It really is. If you borrow money to buy something, you are putting yourself behind the eight ball. You will never have generational wealth. You will never be able to pass anything down because you're continuing to borrow money. Now, in reality, we live in a country where you have to fucking borrow money to buy things because it's ridiculously expensive. If you want to buy them at a time, right? But there are ways to pay things down and get off of that debt. And that's what matters. Yeah, Bukaki says 90% of this country can't live paycheck to paycheck. 50% of the people in this country don't work. They're still living check to check. Whether it's your check or my check or his check or her check, they're still waiting for that money. And they get it. So, credit in the wrong hands. Yeah, well, that's that's the other thing too, is it's crazy. So, the audacity that the government, being trillions in debt, gives us a credit score. It's not the government that gives us a credit score. It's the crediting companies that give us a credit score. It's the banks. So it's the people who run the government. Don't get that twisted. It's the people who run the government that give us a credit score. The credit score is a social score, and people don't want to admit it. It's how likely you are to be a good borrower. We have a social score as far as our social media, right? How many times have you been banned? How likely are you to go along? That's what they're gathering on social media. Like, if you haven't been banned a million fucking times, you're very likely to go along. And that's okay, because they're just going to leave you alone. But those of us who've been banned or had Facebook jail and this and that and blah, 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 we're in trouble, right? We've shown that we're troublemakers. We're showing that we're people who are going to be a problem. And that's okay, because I'm okay with being a problem too. Operator Tony says, I'm in the process of doing debt consolidation so I can pay off credit card debt. Yeah, and that's a big thing. Like, you got to do it. You got to pay it off. It's really crazy. It says, I can't wait for Metaverse. Yeah, how likely you are to take out a loan and make the minimum payment for the full term for maximum interest profit for the lender. Exactly. Because if you pay off loans too fast, that actually goes against your credit as well. So it's crazy. They say, no, it doesn't, but it does. There's a reason that one of the biggest contributing factors to a positive credit score is the age of credit. How long have you had that debt? The longer you've had it, the better your score gets, because you're paying on it. It's on time, and you've had it for years and years and years. It's asinine. People don't realize it, but it really is. The higher your credit score, the more likely you are to make them money. You are going to be the individual who is more likely to pay off somebody else's car. You're not paying off your car, you're paying off their car. That's why they also go so far as to make it really difficult to pay things off. If you pay $10 over what your loan is on a vehicle, you can literally take months off of your overall amount of paying, right? If, and this is the big if, and you have to check if you're doing this and you haven't checked, I suggest you do so, that the extra money you're paying is going towards the principal. There are banks, there are lenders, there are people out there who are shitty. They don't care about you, and they are putting that money toward your interest. Now, if you pay off your loan early, they have to go back through and refund you some money. That fucking noise, that's gonna drive me nuts. But you have to pay, they have to pay you some money back, but it's not going to be an equal amount of savings as what you would have had by paying to principal. You have to make sure any extra money you're paying on a loan is going towards the principal, because the principal is the amount of money they can tax you on. That's the amount of money that they can that they can charge you interest on. So if you make an extra payment one month, you have to make sure that that money goes to principal. Otherwise, it's just paying off the accumulated interest that they stack on at the end. So if you look at a loan and how the payment structures are actually broken down, when you start paying on a loan, let's say you get a 10-year loan, right? And I'm just for simple numbers, I'm not going to throw anything out there. I'm not going to verify this, but if you have 10-year loan and you start making payments that first month, that you're literally paying maybe 10% of that payment toward the principal. The remaining amount is going toward interest. So what they're doing, and the way the structure is set up, is they actually have you pay the interest off first, and then the principal starts going down over time. So you start out and you're paying literally 10% to the principal, and the rest is interest. And then you pay another 10% and another 10%. And then eventually that number toward principal starts growing because you don't have as much interest over the longevity of the loan to pay for. So the other thing that can get them and really can kind of screw the banks is if you pay all of your money toward principal and literally just pay it like it's an extra payment. So if you pay it toward principal, you've made the payment. You're making a monthly payment of X amount, but you're paying it toward the principal. There are some lenders that allow you to do that, and you have to literally do it. Like, you have to call them once your payment processes, and you have to physically tell them, I want that payment to go directly to principal. And then they have to do something where they change the numbers around and it goes toward principal. And they may fight you on it and say, we can't do that. Yes, you can. There's nothing in my contract that says that I cannot pay more to principal than I do to interest to start. I'll pay the interest at the end. How about that? So, yeah, at the early part of the loan can be the equivalent of months of regular payments. Exactly. And that's, it's insane. Let's see. Operator Tony says, as it sits right now, I owe about $1,100 a month, but during summer, no work, and only get $758 per month when I don't work. That hurts. Definitely got to get that credit card debt gone. Definitely got to get that gone. So, kind of went differently than I intended. I didn't make this about investing, but Bernie B. Sanchez says, you invest in having assets, and that's not in the stock market, in your opinion. Exactly. That's true. Crazy Eyes says, I've been collecting certain precious metals lately, copper, lead, brass, etc. I know where you're going with that. That's a good investment for the future. Because we're really in a situation right now where we don't know what's going to happen, right? So earlier this week, I posted a link in the Discord. I don't know how many of you had the opportunity to go watch it. And this is the portion of this video that'll probably get taken down. But I'm okay with that. So there was a conversation on a show called Man of America with an individual who's very much into analytics of military operations and movement. The the individuals who in the CCP, in China, Operator Tony says I skimmed through it and damn. Yeah, so they're making moves right now, and our government is stupid as shit, and says, "Hey, it looks like you're gearing up to invade Taiwan. I wouldn't recommend you do that because we will intercede with military action." Well, anybody who knows anything about the invasion forces that would be required in Taiwan knows that Taiwan has a fucking massive army. They have a massive military, massive infantry. So China gearing up and sending a bunch of fucking gear makes sense. Now, the issue is that they've loaded several ships full of equipment out of a single port. And the amount of material and forces and gear that they've loaded would definitely be enough to attack Taiwan. But it's all the wrong equipment. None of it is meant to attack Taiwan. The terrain doesn't fit. And even if they wanted to move all that stuff, there's no reason for them to load several ships because they're so close. They could just go back and forth and bring in a little bit at a time, because the amount of stuff that they're loading on the type of ships that they're loading, they're going to need a port to unload it, a friendly port. And if they're going to invade Taiwan, they're probably not going to have a friendly port to unload at. So the argument is that for over 25 years, nearly 30 years, they have been honestly saying that China is gearing up for war. They're not gearing up for war against Taiwan. Taiwan is a blip on the radar. Taiwan is something that will work itself out, according to China. So what they're gearing up for is a war with America. They're gearing up for a war with America, with the combined forces of Russia. Now, there's a lot of individuals out there who are saying, well, Russia is so weak. Look at what's going on in Ukraine. Russia is a fucking superpower. What's going on in Ukraine shows me that they are not sending their best fucking people to Ukraine. That documentary, or the thing I posted, literally said flat out, there's a lot of people who believe that special operations forces for Russia, the Spetsnaz, are positioned in Siberia. Well, Siberia is out of the way to invade Ukraine. It's not out of the way to head through the Bering Strait, which would mean into Alaska. Why would you go into Alaska? Lots of ports. There's a military base with air support and landing in Alaska, and it gets you on U.S. soil faster. Canada'd roll the fuck over. Fucking Trudeau would be like, oh, we don't have any guns anymore. More blackface. Russia, you go. Russia fights different than the U.S. Don't expect the same kind of fight when they don't do the same shit. Yeah, Russia fights very different than the U.S., and Russia and China believe very differently. So another thing that was really kind of hit home, and is the truth, is the conversation about nuclear weapons, right? We have much cleaner nuclear weapons today than what we did in the past. Now, individuals continue to say, well, if one nuclear bomb goes off, it could be a nuclear winter. No. And that kind of has been dispelled several times. But in America, we still believe that nuclear war means the end. It means the end. The whole world goes to shit. It's suicide. Nobody will ever do it. Well, Russia and China believe the opposite. Fuck it. Throw the bombs. That's exactly what they believe. And that's exactly what they're going to do. So ICBMs out of China can reach pretty much anywhere in the United States. So if that doesn't scare the fucking shit out of you, nothing will. On top of that, they know that they are strong as shit. Russia and China together is stronger. They met before the Olympics. Xi Jinping and Putin met before the Olympics, and they've been talking for years about how strong they are. Ukraine is a power play, right? We proved that in the 50s and 60s with a shit ton of live testing we did around the world. Exactly. We have clean nuclear energy compared to what people believe. But we still propagate the fact that one nuclear warhead could cause a nuclear winter. And we do that. It is just the way it is. Don't we have more F-22s in Alaska than every Su-57 Russia ever made? Yeah. We also have more heroin addicts on a military base there than anywhere else in the country. Not going to be hard to take it to fuck over. Just saying. There is not shit to do in Alaska, and all those motherfuckers are high as shit. I guarantee you 75 to 80% of all soldiers currently at the Anchorage, Alaska base couldn't fucking pass a piss test if their lives depended on it. Just saying. But anyways, the invasion forces that they would need to come to America and take over are greatly diminished compared to what many people believe, because the way they fight, they don't give a shit. They're going to bring nuclear weapons. They're going to use nuclear weapons, and that's just the way it's going to be forever and ever. Amen. So yeah, behind every blade of grass, there's an American with a rifle, right? It's going to be a different type of war. It'll be a different type of everything. At least Russia won't piss test them if they invade. Exactly. Exactly. The only things to do in Alaska: mine, dredge for gold, hunt, and freeze. Don't forget to get run over by moose. That's pretty much the other thing. Yeah, so that I definitely recommend it. Let me go here. I'm actually going to go into the Discord, go all the way back. We'll grab this link because I can. And I'm going to post the link. And I don't even know if it's still there. It could have been gone. It could be gone already. But it is Man in America. Definitely something I recommend watching. China's Final War. They break it down pretty specifically. I'm not going to go into it too in depth, because other than watching that video and some conversations that I've had with individuals in the past, I'm not fully up on it. But these individuals, specifically the guy talking for the most part in that video, he knew what he was talking about. Everything made sense, and it's really mind-boggling when you think about it, down to the point that they literally started the war in Ukraine to make it look as though Russia's weak, as well as allow the United States to burn up military gear. We've already sent them 4 years of production of anti-tank weapons, and we won't be getting those back. So we have to ramp up production on anti-tank weaponry just to replace what we've sent to Ukraine, which means we have that many less here in this country. And based on what China's loading, we're going to need a lot of it. They say, the deadliest rifle, or the deadliest weapon in World War II was the rifle, right? The American rifle. That was the deadliest rifle. Or maybe it was even the Mauser was the deadliest, until we had air support, right? As soon as the airplanes came from America, they became the deadliest. Killed more Germans with airplanes than they did with guns. So, yeah, with Goddamn Bacon says, you're right about Russia fighting wars differently from the U.S. Thing is, they had to learn some of our tactics because of their scorched earth style of military combat, which results in huge losses. Yeah, and with rare earth elements from China and titanium from Russia. Oh boy, yeah, we can't do what we need really. But Crazy Eyes says, I've got 9mm. I'm good to go, because 9mm, will blow lungs out of your body. I'm going to argue, though, he's not entirely wrong if you got the right ammunition. There's a reason hollow points exist. Let's be completely fair and honest. My favorite was the meme that actually got posted on Gun Meme Review today. Today's Gun Meme Review by Brandon Herrera of the American Federal Blood Eagle. That's fucking hilarious to me. But hey, what are you gonna do? We live in a society where 75% of individuals who watch the news don't know shit about anything. So everything they're told on the news is 100% factual truth. Yes, the Blood Eagle, the Blood Eagle. The reality of the situation is Joe Biden knows less about guns than my fucking son, who walks around with his sunglasses and goes, "It's my boomer. It's my boomer." I don't know where the fuck he got that from, but teaching him we don't boom at people, like, because he's pointing his sunglasses and shooting it like it's a gun. It's my boomer. Okay, man, cool. What you got? But I would say that my son probably knows more about firearms than Joseph Piss Pants Biden does. Yes, okay, boomer. Okay, boomer. So that's really all I got for you guys. This episode went off the fucking rails tonight, and it's okay because I think it was still decent conversation. Let's see. We talked about Uvalde, Texas. We talked about how to pay off your loans and debts and all that stuff. And fucking A. I'm not a financial guy. I am not a scientist. I am not a war expert. I am not a lot of fucking things. But I do enjoy having I do enjoy having these conversations. Mrs. Pineapple says he also has a penis. Yes, he does have a penis. And he was very, very, very happy about that the other day. Even more happy about the fact that Daddy also has a penis. So that's good. What the fuck are you then? I am nothing, my guy. I am just some asshole you guys tune into, and I appreciate it. From operator Tony jumping in here and saying first to Crazy Eyes talking about his 9mm, Bukaki in here actually dropping knowledge. The goddamn bacon also showing up, making things a little bit darker for us. And then, everybody else that's been here and does their goddamn thing. I have to go find out what the fuck is making noise now because I'm gonna lose my shit if I don't do that. So yeah, even your goddamn son knows that men have dicks. Yes, I know. See, this is the thing. The science is firm on it. My son is good. He knows this. My favorite portion of this is in 100 years, when you're dug up. There's two types of people. There's men, there's women. Hey, we got the dog down here. The pup came down. He never comes downstairs, and apparently doors are still open. So that's okay. Maybe he's trying to get away from the runner. He's horrible. He should be upstairs. Hey, watch the camera, asshole. All right. But anyways, I do appreciate y'all stopping by. I do appreciate you coming in. Let's see. Bukaki says, nope, need the movie quote. I am a meat popsicle. Perfect. You're a delicious tactical piece of produce that should never be a topping on pizza. Nothing wrong with that. I disagree. I'm not delicious at all. Crazy Eyes says, meet Daddy. On that note, Daddy's where I draw the line, folks. Y'all have a great weekend. Stay safe. Don't flip any fucking tractors on yourself. And as always, carry your fucking pistols. We all know Brandon hates them. Oh, one last thing. I'm going to do it one last time. Make sure to get out and support the LGBTQ movement. It is Pride Month. So let's get Biden to quit. LGBTQ. Peace out, peeps.